In this short video, I'm going to introduce you to visual filtering in Blackboard Data reporting. This is functionality that you'll find in reports that show either a list of students, courses, or both, and enables you to filter the rows displayed in these tables by interacting with other visuals. Now, what we're looking at here is a student grain table in the Course Access tab of the Student Engagement report. This shows one row per student per course and therefore per enrolment with appropriate metrics for this context. This table is currently showing all students within my chosen filters, which are Spring 2022 and Institution for the hierarchy nodes. But we can also use visual filtering to further filter this list. So let's start with the activity donut chart. And this is obviously showing me how many students are active or inactive in courses. And so I can click here the inactive student segment of this particular visual, and note that this is now highlighting that particular segment and graying out the other segment of that. And then what I can do with that is to then zoom back down to my student list, which will now show me only inactive students in here. And so this is now showing me inactive students in the institution hierarchy node in Spring 2022. Now we can also use visual filtering with most of the visual elements on this tab. It's also worth knowing that visual filters are additive. Each new selection adds to the filtering rather than replacing the existing filter. So I can, for instance, select this course. And this is now showing me all of the inactive students on this particular course. I can see which visual filters are applied by clicking this funnel icon, which I'll just zoom into. So now you can see that I have inactive students selected and this particular course selected in here. And this funnel always appears in the contextual menu, which appears in the top right corner of the visual when you click or hover over it, only when visual filtering is actually applied in here. One thing to be aware of, you're able to choose visual filters that can clash with each other, and this can result in an empty table being shown. So if I go back up to the top here, and I also select, in addition to inactive students, previously active students, what we'll now find when I go back down to my student list is that there's no data, because I'm filtering for both inactive students and previously active students. And so that's stopping any students from being shown here because there are no enrollments with students who are simultaneously active and inactive. Now you can remove individual visual filters with the same funnel icon. And so I can remove whichever one of these that I want to get rid of. So let's say it's the previously active students in here, and that will then result in these the filters being applied correctly and showing me the student list again. Or I can actually click clear to remove all of my visual filters. Now note that this doesn't affect your selection of the filters at the top of the report, only the visual filtering that we're doing through interacting with other visuals. Now we think you'll find this feature helpful in pinpointing actionable data, and we're of course always keen to hear your feedback and feature requests that you can, as always, submit at any time by opening up the What's New pane, where you'll find individual feedback being requested, general feedback able to be submitted using a feedback form, and also the ability for you to submit individual feature requests as well.